The Festus Tigers were the very definition of a tough luck loser in 2021. While Festus finished with 6 wins, the Tigers' 5 losses last season were all by 8 points or less. The combined margin of defeat was just 30 points. Head coach A.J. Ofodile's team couldn't quite finish the job at times last year, but while closing games out is a point of emphasis this year, Ofodile says last season's close calls showcased plenty of positives.
The biggest thing for us, if you look at it objectively, and that's what we have to do, the wins and losses piece is obviously everything you're going to be measured off of typically, but, what we have to do is really assess where we are as a program. Are we heading in the right direction? Have we gotten stronger? Is there more commitment to the offseason? Were we better executing what we were, trying to get done a year ago on the field? And, we absolutely are progressing in the right direction, and that's the biggest thing. And so, I think we had 5 losses that came down to, when we counted out, probably you change 7 plays, those 5 losses become 5 wins just by changing 7 plays. And all the ifs and buts and everything, doesn't count, so it doesn't matter, but it is something that you have to assess when you're really looking objectively about where your program is. And so we feel like for sure we're heading in the right direction. We feel like we took more steps this offseason. I think this is the strongest overall as a group that we've been. We had some key losses from a year ago. We had a great senior class, some guys that were big contributors to us. But overall as a group, we're kind of building from the bottom now where, our strength numbers, again, like I said, are completely different as a group than what they were a year ago, which is big. That's, obviously a big evaluation that we're going to have when we're looking at our program. And so we're excited about the direction we're going. Would love to have gotten a few plays back last year, results be a little bit different in the win-loss column, but, overall, when you're looking at it big picture, we're heading where we need to head.
One big piece of the puzzle that will need to be found is starting quarterback. Graduate Cole Rickerman set single-season and career passing yardage records over his last 2 seasons at Festus. Sophomore Essian Smith and Farmington junior transfer Jeremiah Cunningham are both getting an opportunity at the position. While Ofodile says it's impossible to replicate Rickerman's ability, he's confident the offense will still be strong.
You lose a generational kid at quarterback. You lose a kid that, when you start, and it's kind of crazy when you think about it. When you start thinking about all-time Festus football players, Cole Rickerman is going to rank right up there with anybody. He had a phenomenal career here, really did great things for us. Where we're situated at quarterback now is probably as deep as we've been at quarterback in terms of guys that you could put out there and say, okay, I think we got a good chance to win the game. We got 3 kids, junior, sophomore, and freshman that feel really strongly about what they can do on the field. A lot of work has gone into that for guys to, develop different aspects of their game, whether it be footwork, whether it be release, whether it be overall strength and speed and all those things. So we're really excited about that position in particular, and it's going to be a really deep position for us.
The Tigers do return game-breaking wideout Armand Branch. The senior's debut season saw him rack up over 1,000 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns. But despite his big playability, Branch says he turned NFL stars in the offseason to become a more complete pass catcher.
I wanted to improve on my releases, and I did that. I watched a lot of Devontae Adams. He got his releases. He had the same thing as me, played basketball all his life and then switched to football. So it was easy picking it up from him. And then those steps that he made helped me a lot too.
Running backs Landon Bradshaw and Landon Yates return, and junior Hayden Bates will join the offense at fullback after helping Festus reach the state championship game in baseball. But for all the talent at the skill positions, the Tigers are hoping to have a little more bite at the line of scrimmage. Ofodile says that started with being a more physical team.
A year ago, our strength levels there just kind of weren't where they needed to be. We obviously had Connor, who was everything you want, obviously at Missouri Western now, and so he was great in the weight room, did a great job on the field. But we just need to grow in some of the other spots, and those guys really took that personally. And we're coming back with the group that's been really good for us all summer in terms of their commitment to what we're doing, in terms of their understanding of what their role is as a lineman, the spirit that they bring to it, the buy-in in terms of things that we think are going to be advantages for us. And so we're excited about what that group can do. We need to develop a little bit more depth there, but we think we have the potential to do that as well too. But that group's done a really good job, and we expect some big things from them this year.
The defense is where getting bigger, faster, and stronger could really pay dividends. All-conference junior linebacker Eli Ortman leads what could be a deep team on the front seven. One of those key starters, junior defensive lineman Xavier Gold, says his team is starting to look and play the part.
Yeah, I see a lot of work in the weight room. Everybody showing up and all that. It's definitely going to help us out because last year I was benching like 165 and going against these big dudes and kind of putting up my own. But being able to get my numbers up, everybody else getting their numbers up and everything, it's really going to help us on the line, absolutely. Last game, just our intensity was definitely there. It's just getting it down fundamentally. Like I feel really improved since last season. But yeah, camp is definitely, I'm seeing a lot of improvements in me and my D-line here. I feel like it's going to be really great this season, yeah.
It's not going to be easy to get back to the 10-win level Festus reached in Ofodile's first season, which included conference and district championships. Inside conference play is a 9-win Hillsborough team that won a pair of thrillers against the Tigers last season, as well as a North County squad that made it all the way to the Class 5 state semifinals. Ofodile says the non-conference opponents are no tea party either.
And then we got a tough schedule. We've added, by design, Valley and Jackson to our schedule. Everything about the way they run their program is what I think you aspire towards and what we want to grow towards. So the best way to do that is get those guys on the schedule and go compete with them. And it shows you exactly where you are and exactly where you need to be, and there's no pretending. So we wanted to get those guys on the schedule for sure. And now what that means, we'll see, but we're excited about it. So we'll see at the end of the day where we are. First is, we got a tough opponent coming out the gate with St. John. So, we're kind of all eyes pointed towards that. We got to acquit ourselves well there. We got to show up and really be ready to go. And, I think we'll do a good job of trying to do that.
The result is a Festus squad and schedule full of as many unknown commodities as known ones. That's why Ofodile doesn't try to quantify his team's success, expected or realized, in numbers.
In terms of, I've never really set goals in terms of saying, hey, we're going to win this many games, or we're going to, win a district championship, win a state championship. The goals are always going to be the same. The goals are always going to be to maximize the output of the group, to optimize who you can be. At the end of the day, if that means we win 2 games, and that was the, really getting the most out of the talent that we have, then I'll be satisfied with that. I know it sounds crazy to say, but I would be. But if we're supposed to be a 12-win team, we're winning 12 games. So, but we don't know until we're up and running. A lot of crazy things happen during the season. You got to avoid the injury bug. You got to keep everybody mentally in tune with what you're doing. You got to make sure that you're not overloading them with concepts and things like that.
If Branch is any indication, the attitude of every improvement being a big win is already a Tiger mantra.
The goals for me, I just want to do better than I did last year. That's one goal. I'm sure everybody got that goal. And I just want my teammates to see that if I'm working hard, that's going to make them want to work hard. And the season, I just want to see everybody want to be out there. If I see everybody want to be out there, then that's going to make me have fun. Everybody else is going to have fun. I want to see everybody talking.
You can hear Festus take on St. Genevieve to start the high school football season Friday, August 26th, starting with the Fleets Equipment pregame show at 6 p.m. on J98. Reporting for Regional Radio Sports, I'm Nathan Gertz.